Hi everyone, I am back with another video, and this time it'll be a webtoon slash webcomic review. I'm hoping to make a little series out of this theme where I read a webtoon or webcomic, draw some fan art for it, and talk a little about what I like about the comic and or what I could personally learn from the comic or artist as an artist myself. You'll notice that I specifically denoted what I like about the comic, and that's because I'm going to keep these reviews free of any unsolicited criticism, even of the constructive kind. Since the authors of these comics didn't ask me to review their comic, I don't feel right giving constructive feedback. Plus, this is more to share positive thoughts and promote some great comics. I also won't be sharing screenshots of the comic itself, and will try to stay away from spoilers in case any of y'all want to read the comic, which I hope you do. As you can probably tell from the title of this video and from the fan art itself, this week's review is going to be about an indie webcomic called Fairy Lantern by TambriArt. This is a comic that's been on my TBR to read list for probably years now. I've been aware of it since I started my own webcomic Beneath the Camphor Tree, and the artist and I are acquaintances online, but I never really sat down and read the comic before this week. Not because I didn't like the premise or the style or what I knew of the story, but mainly because I'm not a great reader, no, not even of comics, due to my at the time undiagnosed ADHD that kind of made me not a great reader my whole life. And now that I'm finally on ADHD meds, I'm finding reading a much easier and more enjoyable experience, and I'm taking advantage of that by diving into the comics that I've been dying to get to for years. The synopsis of Fairy Lantern is: tasked with taking care of her grandparents' home, 22-year-old Reagan Marigold is not expecting much from the sleepy beach town she spent her childhood summers in. Yet strange things are happening here, the kind that can only be explained with magic. But magic isn't real, right? The stories her grandma told her weren't real, right? The super shirtless fairy boy living in her bedroom seems to disagree. And as if the premise wasn't tantalizing enough, TambriArt's style is what I fell in love with first before even reading the comic itself. The style is very painterly. In fact, from what I've seen of TambriArt's YouTube videos, the art, while digital, is drawn to emulate a very painterly traditional style. I have to say, on the sites of Webtoon Canvas and Tapas, the art style of this comic is one of the most unique ones I've seen. It's vibrant and lively and playful, and it's so colorful. I had to pause there for emphasis, but I love the way TambriArt shades and showcases color theory, and I have to say, I especially love how she utilizes color in the shading. The shading of Fairy Lantern is far from boring, and not only because it is done in a soft shading style, which is pretty unique I would say for the platform of at least Webtoon and Tapas, but the shadows themselves are colorful and, from what I can tell, utilize a lot of complementary colors. And oh my gosh, I love the art so much. As I was reading this comic, I kept pausing to look at different panels because I was like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought to use the purple there with that color as the opposite shading. I don't know. I just kept having to pause and look at the art because it was so beautiful. The second thing I fell in love with were the characters, and no, it's not just because the male lead is pretty much perpetually shirtless. Though on that note, can I just say that TambriArt is a freaking expert at drawing abs? Please do a tutorial on drawing abs. Your girl here is dying to know your secrets. Okay, but in all seriousness, though for real, the ab drawing of this comic is legit insane good. The characters in this comic are absolutely charming. The main character, Reagan, is one of those characters that is unique to herself and yet easily relatable. I love her personality, and I honestly can seriously relate to how the story opens up with her life situation as an adult and all the trouble that comes with your dreams not turning out the way you expected them to. I honestly would love to be her friend. She just seems really chill, except when she meets shirtless fairy boys, I suppose. And someone you could have a really deep conversation with and yet also crack stupid jokes without being judged. Not too badly, at least. The other character who will remain named Fairy Boy in this video to avoid spoilers is another vibrant character. I love his expressions, and in the first few episodes he's shown in, his expressions and body language really give us the best impressions of him. And man, TambriArt she's really good at drawing abs. I mean, expressive body language. Okay, both are great. But my favorite character so far in the comic has to be Reagan's older neighbor. He's got such a personality that really shines through as Reagan gets to know him throughout the story. I feel like he's just so fun to read, and he often makes me laugh with his quirky lines, and I love his role in the story. The fact that he's a retiree gives the cast of characters a unique edge, I feel, because I feel like creators tend to create main or supporting main characters that are on the younger side. The story itself is great. It has great pacing. I found myself binge reading the whole story in like 48 hours, which just goes to show how easy it is to read if I can read that much of a story in such a short amount of time outside of work and social commitments, etc. It was fun, I laughed, there were touching moments that really got to me, and overall the story is vibrant and fun. And the characters truly feel real, like they could be people you know or bump into in real life. The art is incredible and unique, and overall I can't praise this comic enough. I can't wait to see what TambriArt does with it, and I hope you can give it a read. Anyway, that's all I have time for now. Thanks for listening, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.